I just played through Halo Reach and I did it on Legendary because it's bonkers. Let's dig into the campaign and see what's what. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe. The game begins with a burning planet. We slowly move into a mountainous area and a shot of a helmet. Wait, that's the one that I chose for my Spartan. Oh. It's July of 2552 and there are some problems on Reach. Visegrad Relay has gone offline and the recon teams aren't responding, so Colonel Holland is sending us over there to investigate it. I'm quickly introduced to Noble Team, but Carter, that's the commander, warns me that Lone Wolf actions are a bad idea. Okay, fair enough. We drop in near a comms outpost and find a distress beacon next to a wrecked hog. Emil thinks that there might be plasma scorches around, but that's nuts, right? We have to move on. Down the road, we come across a colonist who says that something out in the field killed his son. We also find some strung up bodies. Something's wrong here. Oh great, it's the Covenant. The team and I mow down the grunts and jackals, but a bunch more drop in out in the field. High-ranking elites are here too, so I have to overcharge it up. Once we destroy them, we turn a civilian truck into a makeshift warthog. Okay, I can dig it. The only problem is that George can only face forward, but that should be manageable. We rip through another bunch of aliens and move on to a giant communal living space. After we take out the Covenant there, some survivors make contact because they're under fire. A bunch of dropships roll in to spoil the fun, but it's nothing that a few overcharges can't fix. All of the troopers die in the firefight, so we smash our way to June's copter. It's time to head over to the outpost. Kat and Emil are waiting there along with a ton of very angry fanatics. We clear them out, but they are by no means the last. Kat manages to shut the door before we're overwhelmed, but what if they're inside too? We find a data card and a female colonist. And sure enough, the Covenant are in the building. George and I push down some corridors to a bunch of servers. I waste a zealot and reset some sort of junction before we return to the center. George tries to empathize with the woman. However, nothing comes of it other than the fact that her father died. Commander Carter tells Colonel Holland that the winter contingency must be declared. We move on to Sword Base. What's this? Are AIs giving us intel before we drop? Doesn't she know that we're supposed to magically figure things out? Anywho, Kat and I have to wreck a bunch of Alamaus. The elites give us some trouble, but they can't do a damn thing against my sniper rifle. Ooh, a target locator. This should be spicy. Beautiful. Kat and I take a warthog out, but it isn't a Gauss hog. We need to activate an AA gun and a comms relay. I go for the gun first. It doesn't work out too well. I eventually get the bright idea to park behind the building. That makes it a bit easier to hit the elites. I activate the AA gun and stay away from the dropships. Fortunately, the homing grenade launcher is a big help. It's time to head on over to Farragut Station, and we still don't have a Gauss. After some trouble with elites and ghosts, I take the gun and rip through them myself. Unfortunately, there are a ton of elites, grunts, jackals, and what is that thing?
Revenant on approach.
Oh, thanks, Kitty. I take out the occupants, activate the switch, and return to base with Kat. Oh, there's a Gauss cannon. Well, you should have thought of that earlier. The techie and I cut through the base and hoof it to the Oni office. 2 hunters are waiting for us there. Damn. Hey, Kat, the first one is down. Are you gonna help or what? Ah, there we go. Oni is already crawling with Covenant. The first hallway is a mess, but we managed to get through it with no real problem. Except for that. The rest of the team is down the hall. George and I have to push up to Emil, so we do it. A bunch of cloaked elites are on the top floor, but that's why we must always remember our night vision. Once they're down, we clear the skies and the Corvette overhead is shot down by an orbital strike. Well, small victories. Dr. Halsey wants us for a briefing. She chews out Carter for what happened at Visegrad because the Covenant were after something big. However, Carter gives some data back with a set of threats, so it's fine. For now, anyway. June and I have to do some recon. I knife an elite in the back, but I immediately have to open up on some sacrificial grunts. Down below, a bunch more aliens are camping out, so we have to waste them as well. Some reinforcements give us trouble. However, we take our time before pushing into the complex. There's a bit more clearing out to do, but it's only a problem when an elite just won't freaking kick the bucket. It's better to handle most of them from afar and grab a turret. All of a sudden, we have to wipe out some local animals just because. One of them gets the better of me, so I let the game's coding do some work for me. After June and I push through some emus that aren't actually emus, we have to repel the Covenant from a militia stronghold. The locals all die, so it's up to us. Great. Some elites become an annoyance, but that's where the plasma pistol comes in. Once we clear out the enemy, we have to recon a shield generator and plant some devices on it. That soon turns into one of the hardest areas of the game as a bunch of elites drop in. It takes an awful lot of tries, but I eventually clear out the opposition and great, hunters are here too. I have to evade one and push into another area with some conveniently placed sniper rifles. The resulting firefight becomes a slog, so I take my time and push forward with the help of some cover. June and I manage to get to an area where my ass just won't quit, and we discover a massive Covenant assault force. Kat orders us to disengage, which makes sense. Sort of. A few hours later, we have to do some more work, and wait, I'm getting more intel? Nice. The shield generator gets blown to smithereens and the assault presses forward. I'm a part of a convoy with Kat, but she winds up crashing the Warthog for, reasons. We cut through a Covenant detachment that has a fuel rod emplacement and get a rocket hog. Well, that's an upgrade. After taking on some enemies, the hog gets smacked with a concussion round. Therefore, we get out of it, wipe out the enemy, and destroy the first AA gun. I retrieve our ride and we smash through some more jackals on the way to an old mine. It's up the stairs and through the corridors to Hammertown we go. And then a high-value target shows up. Woo! That elite can take a beating because of armor lock, but he eventually goes down. That gives us an opening to take a Revenant out for a spin. We manage to knock out the second AA battery, and I have to ride out to Aspire. That tells George and me that it may be emitting an EM shield, but we go through it anyway. Our Falcon goes down. Why did we do that again? Anyway, I push up the field and into the spire itself. Once I get up to the top, Oops. Did I say that? What I mean to say is that I take out everyone on board, hit a button, and bail out as the field goes down. The Grafton uses a Mac cannon to destroy the spire, but it gets blasted in turn by a Covenant beam overhead. I guess that they couldn't have launched the rails at range? Anyway, it's time to proceed to one of the most difficult missions in the entire game. Kind of. Carter and Kat get a little bit of character as they argue over nuclear solutions. However, all of the nukes in the immediate area got blown up with their UNSC ships. How can that be? Kat wants to create a slipspace bomb instead, and I coincidentally test piloted a Saber that can get us up to the carrier. The mission is approved, so we press on as a team and wait, we're June and Emil. Anyway, the team and I completely run over the enemy on the beach and make our way into the launch facility. Some Covenant attempt to intrude, but we make our way to the Sabers. And agony. We initially have to take on some Banshees, but the threat only gets worse when Seraphs show up. Those ships melt my Saber's shields, so I have to hide behind the station until the recharge. It gets even more horrific when the Phantoms jump in. I have to resort to picking off certain ships when I can and hiding behind the station when I can't. Once we clear out the enemy, nukes start going off on the surface. That's what it looks like anyway. We have to proceed with the plan of hijacking a Corvette, but we get some help from the Savannah. That's good. The Seraphs are back. I managed to get the better of them by heading to the left of the Savannah until we crossed the target Corvette's engines. I damaged a lot of them and we land on the ship. I have to jump down with some Marines and I beat the crew with no redos whatsoever. None at all. The firefight calls for some chicken, but I eventually move on to the hangar and oh great, there's an engineer here. The elites present a problem as usual, but I clear them out and let George's Pelican in. The supporting Marines get wasted by more elites, so I have to handle the enemy myself. I slog it to the bridge and take on even more of them. However, there isn't much ammo left when I get out of there. I push forward anyway, only to deal with even more Covenant as they converge on our little surprise. It turns out that they damaged the detonator in the firefight somehow. I don't know why, because they never actually hit the bomb, but George has to detonate it himself.
Tell him to make it count.
Our hero manages to take out the supercarrier, but
Slip space rupture detected.
Yeah, we're picking up anomalies too. Are you reading it? Multiple Covenant signatures.
Slip space
Anyone notice? They're everywhere. In the whole damn.
Oh no. I walk off the fall from orbit somehow and make my way to New Alexandria. The Covenant are in the process of exterminating every last civilian, so it's time to get to work. There are a lot of grunts who are feeling explosive. I don't let them affect me, which helps quite a bit as I push on to a med kit. I move out into a courtyard, and here come the brutes. Luckily, there's a bite me rifle on the upper level that I used to lay waste to my enemies. Unfortunately, I run out of ammo for that, but I'm able to push into the station anyway. My DMR is my friend as I'm forced to defend an elevator and I... Wonderful. A few tries later, I watch my headshots and board the elevator. It's time for some jetpacking. I slay my way across the shipping center to Traxxas Tower and push up the middle. Unfortunately, there's a chieftain and an elite with a fuel rod cannon. A rocket helps and I'm able to move on to... I have to constantly stay on the move to beat these brutes, so I do just that and hitch a ride on some transport. Yeah. This city is in deep trouble. I have to focus on the Banshees and wait, did the pilots die for no reason? Anyway, I have to activate some missile batteries as the civilians start to panic. Hijacking a Wraith does the trick. Oh, come on. I get the drop on the Wraith and activate the first battery. The second one isn't a problem either, but everything just keeps stacking up.
Sergeant Major, the Coveys are almost through my door.
I wind up parking the Wraith, and what are they doing? I get clobbered, so I wind up trying another route. After a few mortar shots, I jet up and hit the button. The Corvette goes down, and 3 transports make it off the planet. Cat makes contact for the first time in forever, and I wind up getting picked up. Carter tells me that Cat needs help running some ops in the city. There are just 2 problems, though. It's burning, and there are jammers all over the place.
Oh, and don't fall in love with my voice.
Too late. I have to tear apart some Banshees and Phantoms. It takes a little while, but I'm able to land at a nightclub. Great, more hunters. I manage to deactivate the jammer and take some rockets and a jetpack from the bar down below. Potshots don't really do anything, so I get out of there. Oh, I actually have to help out Buck and his ODST squad, eh? Okay, I can do that. Our support forces found another jammer at the Synoviet Center. Yeah, there's no way that they got past the emplacements on the roof. They had to have come in another way. Anyway, I tear through some brutes and jackals. When I enter the center,
Let me tell you, whatever you do, don't let them bite you. I hear if one of those little ones bites you, you turn into one.
Bungie just had to go with the scares, didn't they? Well, it's working. I find the jammer down below and drones make an entrance. Great. My concussion rifle doesn't do much of anything, so I just run for it. It doesn't work out that well. A few tries later, I take a different route. That distracts the buggers enough so that I can reach the elevator. Remember when I said that the city is on fire? Yeah, it's getting a lot worse. Some Banshees are shooting at Marines. Once I destroy them, Kat tells me that I need to head over to the local hospital. When I land and enter the main facility, wait, there's an engineer around here, isn't there? You know what they say, there's no kill like overkill. I waste all of the grunts and jackals, but the brutes give me some trouble. I watch my headshots and...
I said back off, you nasty son of a bitch!
Is that you, Lana? Or do the points not matter here? I deactivate the last jammer only to get blocked by some jump jet elites. Well, they can't dodge bullets. I push my way back to my Falcon and run for Oni HQ. It's under assault from some turrets and I stop them with absolutely no redos required. You didn't see what you just saw. Once I clear them out, I reunite with the team. They're missing George, kind of.
He gave his life thinking he'd just save the planet. We should all be so lucky.
That's like a punch to the gut. Did George's death mean anything? Colonel Holland is on the line. It must be for a good reason, because the enemy is overhead. The Covenant are retreating, though.
Radiation flare. Big. 40 million root guns.
Just lost Holland. What's going on?
Atomic excitement scrambled the signal. 90 million now.
The area's glassed, everyone dies, and that's the end of the game. Nah, I'm just fooling you. We ride down the elevator to a fallout shelter. Apparently, we're needed back at Sword Base for a torch and burn op, but... Fa! It's time to get some revenge. I pick off a bunch of aliens one by one and roll forward with some Marines. A fuel rod cannon. That'll be useful. There's a tank up the road, too. It's time to blow my enemies to shreds. I press the attack. Some turrets and ghosts stand in the way, but they meet an explosive end in no time at all. I have to take out more AA guns, which definitely makes sense. Some Banshees come around for candy, however, they don't realize that the candy is a bunch of shells. As I roll on, Carter and the rest of the team take a Falcon into the base. Oh, nuts. What I mean to say is that I wipe out some emplacements with no redos required. It's time to get to the base. My fuel rods help out a bit, but the AR leaves a little to be desired. Therefore, I have to use almost all of my power ammo. Luckily, we're in for some close quarters fighting up a bunch of ramps. The needle jackals are a pain in the neck, so I take my time and throw some grenades. As we cross the destroyed entryway, we wind up struggling to see a bunch of invisible elites. There's an engineer over there too, that may keep happening. We have to go somewhere other than we were told at first. An AI of unknown origin directs us to a secret tram. We take it and have a chat with Dr. Halsey.
It may please you to learn that the data module Noble 2 procured from Visegrad Station contained precisely what my scientist promised. A latchkey discovery.
Oh, really? We have to defend Halsey's lab for as long as possible. 4 turrets will definitely help with that. I activate them and haul ass back to my team. The Covenant give us no shortage of grief, but I managed to draw some away by reactivating the turrets. Once we take enough of them out, Halsey lets us into her lab.
What is this stuff?
Knowledge. A birthright from an ancient civilization.
Interesting. Oh, we have to get Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn, you say? Halsey believes that the latchkey discovery may be the only thing that saves humanity from extinction.
On the level of the conical bullet in the 19th century, or faster than light travel in the 23rd.
With that said, I have to keep our new AI friends safe. Carter tells June to escort Halsey to Castle Base and keep her out of trouble. After that, Carter, Emil, and I board another Pelican. A little while later, we come under heavy fire from Banshees. Emil and I have to bail out as Carter draws the enemy air power away. The land below us is crawling with enemies. We have no choice but to push forward and... oh, there's that mountain. I waste the elite who is giving Emil trouble and hit the gas on a mongoose. There's just one problem. I'm moving faster than the game wants me to. I let the Phantom pass and make the jump across a broken bridge. Emil and I have to clear out some brutes, jackals, grunts, and a wraith. I managed to waste the Wraith's gunner from downtown and destroy the tank with some punches. Wait, how did I lose 200 points there? Anyway, it's time to face more jackals and drones. And then we get stopped by a scarab. Carter has an idea though.
Hit him on, boss.
You're on your own, Noble. Carter out.
We make it to the docks. A ton of coveys are waiting for us there, but it's nothing that some needle rifle action can't fix. We push into the facility and try to help out a few Marines along the way. That doesn't mean much when we have to fight hunters. Emil takes care of the last one and some Marines open up for us. You'd think that their area would be secure, but nope, we have to take out more jackals and elites.
Keys to Noble Team. We're running out of time here, Spartans.
Oh hey, Captain. It's time for the finale. The big and sometimes frustrating finale. Emil takes charge of the mass driver up on the roof, and I waste all of my enemies. You didn't see this, that, any such nonsense, or the other thing. The Covenant are throwing everything at the pile of leaves, but it's hammer time. I clear out every last covey, which gives Keys the clearance to fly over to us. Just when I pass Cortana to the captain, the Covenant land right on top of Emil. He blasts one, but...
I'm ready! How about you?
I guess he wasn't watching his motion tracker. The Marines try to help me, but I actually have to get them out of here.
Negative. I have the gun.
I move up to the cannon, but there are two problems in the way. Elites and an engineer. It's hard to manage these maniacs, but I eventually remember that there are plasma pistols outside. Oh well, I guess I have to, right? I take them out and get to one of the most difficult segments of the franchise. I have to rely on memorization to fight through the oncoming air assault. Eventually, I'm able to destroy the cruiser that's flying in. The Pillar of Autumn is away and jumps right into the opening of the first game. As for me, I'm alone on Reach and the Covenant are bearing down on me. I barely escape from two elites and take them down, but there are no health packs. It's just me and the dead. I go down fighting anyway, but it wasn't a completely pointless nightmare. 37 years later, humanity lands on Reach once again. In all seriousness, Reach is by far the darkest Halo game. While it goes against the pulp action sci-fi tone of the rest of the series, it also rounds out the whole saga in unexpected ways. I have to draw attention to the gameplay difficulty on Legendary first though, because it inconsistently veers between Halo 3 and 2. Some segments are perfectly doable, but other pieces like the Saber dogfight call for cover in unexpected places. That distracts from the mission a bit. Even so, it's not a miserable experience by a long shot. The armor abilities are genuinely fun, the vehicles can actually take some hits, and the new additions change the game. With that in mind, the real power of Halo Reach lies in its story, and I'm not just saying that because of the unseen character who comes full circle. Although the unexplained Falcon crash is a hiccup, there is a theme and point to the whole affair. What exactly can one do in the face of death itself? The story does a great job of making Noble Six feel powerful at first, only to slam the character back down to Earth. After that, civilians die, cities burn, and it seems like there's nothing but agony and despair. Why am I even bothering with this? What's the point? That is exactly what Bungie intended. Almost all of us won't get a moment where we save the world, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do our best in all the ways that matter. Every little victory in this desperate struggle of a game gives dozens to hundreds of people the chance to live a little bit longer. That is actually worth something. That matters. All of the pain and suffering that the team goes through adds on to that. They're willing to stand, fight, and die just to move their surrogate family that little bit further down the road. And at the end of it all, Noble Team just has to transport a character that we all know and love from one place to another. That one selfless act enables all that comes after it, even if very few people in that universe will ever really know. All we can really do in the here and now is push humanity forward as hard as we can. It doesn't matter if it's through deliveries, books, food, or even goofy video essays like this one. But most important of all, wake up every day and keep fighting, because it isn't for nothing. GG. I'll see you next time.